So you know how there's all these like sugar daddy websites, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm aware.
And for people like this, you know what I mean? There's a whole sect of women that have, decided that
They want to be low-key prostitutes.
yeah.
Yes.
But
No, escorts. They're not quite escorts, but they're like.
to be fairly honest, when they sort of talk about the whole sugar daddy thing, if you were like 50 years old and you got divorced and you were like busy, it's not and you had cash.
Yeah, it's fine.
It really isn't the craziest idea to be like, because the money's, if you're rich, like the money to them is nothing. Like you give some fucking college kid $1,000, it's like a ton of money. And you're just like, yeah, I'll give you $1,000, but like, we're going to hang out, but like, don't bother me at all.
100%.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I could see the appeal to some of these people.
100%. Agreed.
And then the girls who were like, yeah, what's like, if I'm, there is, okay, here's where it probably switches. If you're like a chick that's like dating some guy that's 60 or whatever, and he kind of gives you money or whatever, it's almost not that different from a lot of relationships, except for it's like in contract, right? But if she has 9 guys going on the go, if you have a bunch of them, then now it becomes like a prostitute situation.
Yeah, but I think that's the whole thing with the sugar daddy girls is that they have like a few of them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that would probably be the difference, right? If you have one, it's like barely different from a relationship.
That's true.
If you have 3 or 4 that you kind of, basically this, right?
Once you're trying to scale it out, then
Once you try to scale it out, but also once you're trying to schedule it out, right? If you have to be like, okay, I have a Tuesday with this guy and a Thursday with this guy. Now you have clients.
Yeah. Now you're a business.
You're right. Once you're running a
This
business.
isn't just like you trying to get fucking some spending money.
Right. But so there's this whole other component of the internet that these girls that have been like Instagram, hoes, like Instagram sugar girl hoes.
Yeah.
They essentially
Instagram sugar girl hoes.
They're sort of coming out now and saying the issue is that there's these guys called salt daddies.
Love it.
So for basically what salt daddies do,
they're like Salt Bay. They do this.
Well, they do that afterwards. They say, get out.
Get out.
They do that with the keys. The keys to the girls.
But I haven't received my money. Get out.
No, they do that with a few pennies. Yeah. But the salt daddies had been pretending that they're rich guys.
Yeah.
And it's this whole scam where they go on the thing and they.
It's so funny because you have to be like a certain type of young to be like, have you heard that there are men pretending to be rich to get laid? Is this some new thing? Yeah. Like you have to be the most naive person in the world. Be like, have you heard of this?
But it does seem a bit extra to go through the whole thing on the sites.
Yeah, I was reading it, and some of the guys are straight up like con artists. Like the way they were describing it, I was like, you're like, this is like past, like it's because I kind of saw a similarity to how like women put on makeup, right?
Yeah.
You go, this is like kind of makeup for men. You're like, just add 10 to that bank balance, right? Like that's 10 is makeup for men.
Yeah, okay.
Right? But this is
depends.
This guy's honestly like,
if you have $100,000 and you add a 0 to $1 million, I mean, that's quite a difference.
Hey man, I've seen some fucking 1s look like 10s.
1 to 10 isn't that crazy.
What do you mean? That's 10.
But the 0 depends on what it's going after, I think.
Okay, I don't know. I've seen some 1s look like 10s.
They go, there is something unusual about how Steve and I met. We crossed paths and crossed profiles on Seeking Arrangements, a site that launched 12 years ago and is famous for legitimizing and providing a platform for sugar daddies and occasional mommies to meet their sweet tooth cubs. And then this girl is one of the dozens of women embroiled in a mutation of sugar dating that seems to be men posing as millionaires in order to schmooze matches that would, under normal circumstances, be out of their league. Its name, Salt Daddies, an arena perpetrated by Salt Daddies. Or Salt Dating, and it's perpetrated by Salt Daddies. So Salt Daddies is incredible.
Yeah, Salt Daddies. I love Salt Daddies.
It also is, you have to give it to men that they can always, they always find a way to, win under the circumstance.
Well, you want to get into something that's transactional, and then like you want to make this transactional. Even though, first off, guys lying about being rich has existed before sugar.
Well, that's correct.
Right. So,
but this is more, yes, but there's a big difference between, meeting a girl and lying about being rich and having to, sort of create a whole identity, a whole profile, like on a site that because you're saying you're rich as like a side thing. It shouldn't matter, but I'm rich. Obviously it does matter, but they're doing it as, it's different
Yeah,
when
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the whole basis of the whole thing,
for sure.
obviously.
These guys are getting like fake passports and stuff to like.
Well, I'll tell you one thing they're doing is setting up Instagrams that make them look like rich people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's photoshopping them beside Bill Gates and
So funny.
on Leonardo DiCaprio's boat, stuff
You know
like
what I mean?
that.
I would love to see like an expose if someone does like an expose into like just this idea of like, we're going to look into the world of, and then they just end up like in China at some fucking like fake Rolex being like, what are you making these fakes Rolex for? And they go, it's just for the whole salt daddy industry or whatever. They're kicking up. And it's just like, because that's the whole thing, like fake Rolexes are like, yeah, it's just for guys to pretend to be rich. Like why else do they exist?
Yeah.
It's a huge industry.
That's a great fucking thing for the boys to just do a salt daddy night where we all go out. Everyone comes out. There's billionaires. You just make up your own things because you make up the good jobs. Some of these guys are going with like Ethiopian prince. They're basically getting scammed the way that like old people get scammed, where they go on a date with this guy. What does he do? He's a sugar daddy. It's like Ethiopian prince.
It's kind of, you know what it is? It's real life catfishing.
Oh yeah.
Because guys get catfished by fake women online.
Yeah.
You're getting catfished by a fake man in person.
But the difference would be the catfish would be like they say that they're rich and they got all this money and they show up when they have the pockets out and they go, I'm actually poor.
Yeah.
They show up.
Isn't it they show up, they pretend they're rich, get laid, and then you just never see them again?
I guess a little bit, but to me, the catfishing element would be more is when you see it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, it's not as much of a catfish where they like slowly find out. The catfish element is as soon as they show up, the guy's he's not wearing shoes. He's got the shoes with the whole feet poking out the top.
Yeah, and you're looking behind him because you're like he's like waving, and you're just like
He's covered in filth. So yeah, he goes, I met this one guy and we went for dinner at the 5-star Celtic Manor Hotel in Newport, she tells me. And he said that he was in the restaurant business and we had a nice dinner. The next day I found a Facebook page about him and there were girls complaining. He told some people that he was the CEO of a startup, and another person he was a property developer, and he wasn't a millionaire at all. So I was glad I only kissed him. So this guy didn't. Those are all good jobs. Those are the best jobs. Property developers are great.
CEO of a startup. It's like we know 400 CEOs of a startup.
Right.
Yeah,
Also, that's why I was saying go back to these girls because she's like, he's not even a millionaire. Like, you're not the way that these guys are like, I'm developing all this property. Like, millionaire could be a guy that like bought a house for nothing like 20 years ago.
Of course.
Like, a millionaire is not crazy.
They think liquid. They're thinking has $1 million in cash, like in a briefcase.
yeah.
That's in their mind. They're like,
Well, the salt babies don't have that much money, so they're not that financially sound, right?
yeah,
so they're easy
not,
to trick.
Yeah. They're not super financially savvy.
Yeah, so
I like the idea too. They go, I'm glad because he didn't have like X amount of money. I'm glad I only kissed him. Like being like, oh, I'm glad I only sucked his dick. He didn't turn out to have 10 million.
Yeah, like it wouldn't matter.
Like it's like there's like a ratio.
yeah. So basically, there's this big fight going on online where there's the girls trying to get the guys for their money, and then the guys lying, and then the other girls are starting Facebook groups. So it's become quite a debacle. It looks like.
And they're what, support groups, or they're trying to out these guys?
They're trying to out these guys, being like, but it is a funny thing because it's like. No, the girls that are doing this stuff don't really want to be that vocal about that they're doing this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So they can't really go that public, being like, just so you know, I've been having sex with these men for money, and this one's a fraud.
Yeah,
like,
I know. That's
so it's a crime that's easy to get. Not a crime, but
not a crime. But yeah, you have
it's
to
a scam.
Pretty openly.
Right. It's like, it's kind of it's like selling someone like a double-sided dildo and then you don't deliver the product. It's like, what are they going to post
wait,
online?
this is only a single-sided dildo. Where's the second dildo?
But what are they going to do? Post that online? No one even wants to call their bank and be like, my double-sided dildo didn't come.
It was like,
you just eat it.
In Snatch, remember? Where
That's
he had
Snatch scam. Yeah. Exactly, right? So they go, then next, so that was the one, he said he's all these different sort of ones, right? And then basically looking back, she says, Elle thinks that this man may not have been as wealthy as he led her to believe. So tag still on the jacket is what I'm thinking.
He goes, no, that's just the style, you know? It's how you wear
like how the rappers have the tags on the hat.
The tags on the hat.
I guess that you and your Salt Daddy buddies could all sort of share the Salt Daddy clothes.
Yeah.
You know, calling up.
It's like my turn.
I need the Salt Daddy.
Can I get those Gucci loafers? And then And then it's up to the girl to kind of put all these pieces together, being like, those seem a little big.
They all wear the same. Yeah, the Salt Daddy's just swimming in his Salt Daddy suit.
He's the small foot guy.
I'm Salt Daddy.
He's like the
Daddy!
small guy of the crew, so he has like they're way too big. It's like
the small Salt Daddy.
Like, are those shoes packed with paper towel at the front?
The mini Salt Daddy, just with the clothes that don't fit. Like his dad's pajamas.
Yeah.
No. Again, this is the style. So they said next, another girl, Stacy. So it's a big epidemic of the Salt Daddies. 24-year-old nurse who also found her palate teased by a masquerading Salt Daddy, Omar. So that's this. This is the prince. Caught her attention on Instagram after only a few messages. He offered her $20K in exchange for dinner and drinks.
Yeah.
So it's pretty high.
His first message was, "Please open."
Yeah. He said, Omar sent her a message saying that I'll give you $20,000, and all he wanted me to do was show Bob's.
Please open.
Please open. What was the one that we used to watch? The live streams?
It was live streams of like just whatever. It would be like whoever hot chick, and then it was just like all these people, like, you know, Africa, India. They're all just like from overseas, and all of them are just like, it's just like some hot chick. She's like, like she doesn't get nude, and they're all just like, open, please open. Like there's just like the whole fucking Instagram live is like, please open.
Yeah, the girl's doing a seminar on real estate.
Yeah, like talking about like whatever is like my new favorite fucking like health foods, and they're like, please open.
Open.
But it's just funny because that's their like line to get them to take their top off, is they go, please open.
Yeah. So these are, and they are coming up with, those are the jobs you want to go with. You want to go property developer, capital allocation. That's you want to go
Capital,
onto
the ones where they don't really understand.
What do? I allocate capital.
It's vague enough. And you go, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Developer is like a big one. Great fake. So this guy told her that he's an oil millionaire, which is a pretty good fake job.
Yep.
That's an old school fake job to be a Salt Daddy. You go, how'd you get your money? He's like, oil, baby.
Oil, baby. Black gold, Texas tea.
Yeah. You go, how did you get I'm going to give you $20K for dinner and dates. How'd you get your money? Black gold. Texas tea.
Okay.
Omar, the oil allocator. He's got to show up with like the cowboy hat and everything like that if he's going to be an oil millionaire.
Yeah.
And he had an Instagram feed that supported his lavish claims and sent her numerous receipts that supposedly demonstrated that he'd done this before with women, which also does seem like a guy the faking it would do. They go, I'll give you $20K. Look, here's me sending other $20K, and you could Photoshop that in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, apparently there is a lot of people online that sort of say stuff like this, like, no, this is the move. You just meet girls on this site, and you don't even need to be that rich, because if you think about it, if you say this to girls like, oh, I'm going to give the girl like $1,000 every time you hang out, it's like, that's like a high class prostitute, right? Uh-huh. So it's like, it's really no different, except the difference is they're sort of pursuing you a little bit as opposed to a prostitute who's like completely transactional. You go on this site and you're sort of like,
sell yourself to me a bit.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the benefit to these guys. They're sort of like, I'm this oil millionaire. If you want to come get my money, come get it. I'll accept a message, right?
I guess this is one of the times when it's seller beware.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's not buyer beware.
Well, they were sort of saying this girl was sort of going through a thing of, at first, she was saying when she was putting her profile together, she wasn't really getting that many bites. She started asking other people, but she kept changing her, hat on the profile and stuff like that. So the guys on the Sugar Daddy website, they're not out there. Especially one of the other thing is like all of the real Sugar Daddies on the Sugar Daddy website are like 65 and gross.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you're just like a 45 to 50-year-old guy that's like in pretty decent shape and you're, not a loser, you're just like, king of the prosties.
I think so.
So I think these things probably work a little better in like a major city than,
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some town where there's just one person, one guy and one girl on there, and they go,
I guess it's us, right?
I guess
they're both catfishing each other. He goes, I'm an oil billionaire. And she goes, yeah, and I'm hot. What time you want to meet?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're an oil billionaire, I'm fucking 25, buddy.
Yeah, weird. There's no oil around here.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
In Florida, you're like, I'm an oil billionaire. You go, really?
Yeah, all right.
In the ocean or something?
And I'm under 40. Let's just, where do you want to do it? I'll suck you off as long as you pay on time. So she said with Omar, we met at a local bar. He kept taking phone calls and telling me they were from his PA. He would say things like, can you move the meeting in Paris till Tuesday? So Omar's pouring it on quick.
Yeah, he sounds like, honestly, like, yeah.
Sell. Sorry about that.
Yeah, totally like the classic, like, doesn't even know. Oh, yeah, it's just the markets are open in Japan right now. Just got some trades going on, you know.
He goes, you found another $1 billion worth of oil? You know what? Yeah, take it out. Maybe take half of it out. $1 billion. I don't know if I need $1 billion right now. I already have $1 billion.
Yeah, you know what? The cost of cleaning up this mansion seems too much. Let's just destroy the whole thing. Just tear it down. We'll
tear down the mansion. I was thinking about being a condo, but I'll tell you what, buy them both and we'll make the decisions as we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, also, do I owe another? Okay, send the $10,000 over to the other sugar baby.
Yeah, he's like, life of a billionaire. She's like, is that an iPhone 6?
Is that a BlackBerry Pearl?
It's a loaner.
I don't want people to get my oil secrets.
Very secure.
So he's taking fake phone calls saying stuff like that. Like, oh, yeah. You know what? Just give another $50K to charity. Fine. I'm in a good mood. Anyways, we're going to go Dutch on this, though, right? I thought he was a little strange, that he might be trying too hard to prove his importance, but harmless. A week passed with a lot of texts, but after that, he never transferred me the money as promised. So Omar, he's out there for the smash on the first date. And apparently, so there's this other guy, this is what you were saying. His name is Brock Robinson, and he has a blog called The City Bachelor where he shares dating anecdotes of his salt daddy tips.
Yeah, this is the guy.
That's such a fucking fun. Like, I guess you kind of look and you go, there's girls online being farts and jars girl, and someone's going to try to date her. Like, she's still getting messages being like, I want to be your wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This guy out there who's like, his whole life is like, I scam girls into sex. And that's my, I have a site that teaches you how to scam girls into sex. This guy's still going to get some girl somewhere.
Yeah.
Like
some girl will look like, no, because some girl will be like, yeah, those girls deserve it. Like
yeah, exactly.
There's enough girls who be like, yeah, that's
I respect my salt daddy's ability to, outsmart them, right? And his name's Brock Robinson, which is an okay name, but he has a better fake name. He goes, he's internet infamous the way that Neil Strauss and Dapper Laughs were before him. And he tells women his name is Donovan Chase, which is an incredible name.
Nice.
Donovan Chase. And he's a social media mogul worth 1.5 million. See, the things aren't that high. You know what I mean? What guy, started like a social media site? First of all, you have to basically make up a social media site that like can't be traced.
Yeah.
And you go, what's your new site? Bonker. And you go, what is it? It's like the new Twitter. And you go, well, how doesn't it have a website right now? We're just beta testing right now.
Yeah, it's a seed round. We're just raising money.
But that doesn't make you a mogul. Mogul's you own multiple.
But if you don't know what the definition of a mogul is, which I'm sure a lot of these girls don't, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah, 1.5 million euros is not a social media mogul. No. That's like a guy who started at the company and got an
engineer at Gab probably has that much money.
That's what I mean. Like someone who maybe got some profit sharing that actually worked out decently can, clock it at 1.5 million, let alone the mogul of the company. But that is a good name. Donovan Chase, what's your name? Like Blake Blakinson.
Donovan Chase.
David Money. So I get to have a sex life that was previously unavailable to kings and rock stars. That's what this... He says when I ask him why he does it, I've been doing it for 2 years now. I met around 100 girls and he's had sex with half of them and they treat you like a celebrity. So that is a case of, it's obviously like
what
a
happens
scummy
when
thing
he has
to do.
to take him back to his studio apartment though?
No, you probably, I think the move
Or
would be
his
you get a
hotel?
fancy hotel.
Okay, so this isn't, at that point, this isn't like a
Yeah, that's where this is falling apart a little bit because you're right.
Or he does actually have money. He just lies. He has even more money.
No, he goes, we got to go to your place tonight. He goes, why? He goes, my room's full with oil.
Because we open that door, we're dead. Yeah. All that oil is going to come pouring out.
I filled the whole house top to bottom with oil and gold. So. Because you are right that once you start doing the expenses, you still have to pay for the dinner. You still have to go to
unless he's like a
fancy
real
hotel.
con artist where it's like where you hear where he goes, the check comes, he goes, oh my God, someone stole my wallet.
Full out con artist.
Full
I'll
out,
bail you back.
That's like a real con artist.
I don't think this guy's doing that though.
I mean, you can't have a blog about that. That's that is at the point where
But you are right though. It kind of starts to get where you go, yeah, but there's also a bunch of people, bartenders in Brooklyn that brought a girl for 2 drinks, split them, and then he smashed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like this guy sort of cracked a code that it's
It
still
almost
really
seems like he's a
expensive.
bit pathological, where like he has like this vendetta against these like women who
It
are,
is that.
who
Yeah,
are
yeah,
like
yeah, it's that
wannabe
more.
sugar babies.
Yeah, it's
he's
sort
like
of-
I'm coming after sugar babies and I'm taking them down.
Yeah, that's
half
right.
at a time
By giving them a free meal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. By giving them a free meal, like
At an expensive place. Because you're right. I guess once you boil it down, you go, I've got this scam that allows you to have sex with girls
then what,
looking for
he
rich
blocks
guys.
their
And they go, what do you
numbers
do?
and stuff?
So you just spend as much money as a rich guy. It's like almost maybe some of the girls, he's like, just so you know, I wasn't rich. And she's like, yeah, I know, but you still paid for all this
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Yeah,
And we're
okay.
currently getting room service at this hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he jump and runs on the bill.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it that kind of thing where he just like?
But then what does he
straight
get
up-
out of that?
Some fucking rush.
The fact that these people have followers, like there's guys tuning into his like how to be a salt daddy website with their pen and paper, being like, okay. You know?
people pay for that shit. What was that dude who got fucking?
But you're right. If you do a hotel, fancy dinner, the whole thing, you're up at around as much as a prosty. I guess that we're back to the original thing where the whole benefit
Well, I guess
is
you're
that-
not on the clock. Like he goes, he's not looking at his
Not
fake
looking at the
Rolex all
watch.
the time.
And then there's
He's not looking at. Oh, this thing's fucking not working.
yeah, and then so she's made this empowering too. So the end things they always
have
make it
to.
empowering. yeah. It is a little don't hate the player of the game, but she says my salt daddy experience only fueled the fire within me to work hard, so I never have to financially rely on a man.
Great. So actually, he's doing a service.
Yeah, Chase Chaserson's actually
Yeah,
put it down her name.
Chase Donovan or whatever the fuck his name is actually good guy.
What's
after
your
all.
name? Don. Last name? Oil. I'm an oil tycoon.
Middle name Mogul.
My name's Bradley Tycoon.
I wonder if this guy at any point is like, you know what? I have to teach these women a lesson.
I think
I'm
that's
teaching them. I'm schooling them.
well. She said she got school, but she's sort of saying it like, "Ha in your face."
Yeah, I'm never prostituting myself ever again. Take that, John.
You take that, Timmy Oil.
Tim John Oil.
What's your name? Brandon. What's your last name? Capital allocation. Actually, I run a capital allocation firm. What's your name? Capital allocation. What's the firm called? Also capital allocation firm. They named it after me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was doing so good at it that they started calling all capital allocation firms
It's actually
that.
capital allocation is named after me.
Yeah. So she goes, I've also that fueled her to never feel as empty as I just did with Steve. Of course, for other women, they may genuinely thrive in the sugar baby situation. It's all a matter of taste. So he did her a favor at the end of the day.